Before when I didn't know we were live, and then
Yes,
now
so
we're live again. So
we're take two, I
we're
suppose.
re-live, yes.
How you doing today?
It's good. It's a great day.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very sunny outside. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's cold, but it's beautiful.
February.
Yes.
And it's actually the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
We're supposed to have snow and cold and all.
I know. What a weird stretch we went through
Been
there.
so spoiled.
Yes.
That was incredible.
It was like southern weather.
Yeah.
Like it was very bizarre for me. I was like, what's going on?
You know, if that is winter, yeah. Why would, if that's the way it's going to be, everybody's going to want to live in Fort St. John.
Yeah. I mean, we have lots of great reasons to want to live here anyways, but the cold is usually the downside to a lot of people.
Exactly.
But if that's how it's going to be from now
the
on,
winter
oh my gosh.
is the downside.
Yeah, the winter, which is like basically all year almost.
Well, there's that one. It's called road construction. That's that 1 month.
That's the second season of Fort St. John.
So the city is actually going to continue with that 100th Street corridor, too. They're going to go from 102 to 106 and get it finished up. That'll be...
And this is the last of it. Then there's no more.
No.
Well, for the 100th Street reparation.
For the 100th Street, yes.
Yeah. Then there's no more after that.
Then they get to come rip my shit up.
Yeah, so
in front of the Lido.
After that, they'll probably be doing other work. But you know what? They're always trying to make the city better. So that's nice.
I think the infrastructure that we have here and this, we're very fortunate to have what we have. A lot of people, they'll bitch and complain about snow removal and about gravel and about lawn cutting. Really should go to some other communities, other northern communities, because there's a big struggle in trying to, it's so easy down in Arizona. You just water lawns. They don't have to worry about, different machineries and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's a big job running a city.
It is. It definitely is. And I think our city does a great job.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah. Everyone's always going to have that one thing they don't agree with. But
they plowed my road yesterday. I love the city of Fort St. John. Yeah. So if your road isn't plowed yet, you got a little hate going on, that's okay. They will get to you, yeah.
Everyone feels that little bit of anger for the first week of snow. So they're like, when is this going to be plowed? And then they're really grateful when it happens. Now, the Lido's had lots of really exciting events happen this past week and through the weekend. Let's talk about some of those.
Sure. It's the neat thing about the Lido is that we are multifaceted. We do all sorts of stuff. Doesn't matter what it is, we're willing to do it, to try it. If it's a fundraiser, we do weddings, funerals. I mean, we're all over the place on what we actually do. It's based on what somebody needs to have done.
Yeah, you're very versatile. You could literally do A to Z. You got it. Your venue would do it.
Yeah, and we've got such a great gaggle of gals. That's what I call them. I'm the head goose, and that's my gaggle. Yeah, but it is. We've got a lot of great staff that work there. And it's just a little family of get it done. And it's exciting. Everybody rolls up their sleeves and we pull things off. We just had a I don't know if it's called a symposium or whatever, but Dan Davies brought up a bunch of shadow ministers, and we had a discussion about crime in the city of Fort St. John. And, it is a little bit, I'm not going to say biased or anything, but it's, what they would do if they were in power, because obviously in the province, the NDP's in power.
Well, they were sharing what they would do if they were in power from their perspective, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Which is what we need. Sometimes I feel that, rather than point out the deficiencies in the other team, maybe they're a bunch of smart people. If they get together and figure this stuff out, not worrying so much about who's in power and that, and taking care of the people. That's what we need to have more of that.
You said something the last time you were here, and it was...
inappropriate?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean...
I do that lots.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. You said, why not come together and find a solution, then complain? And I think that really resonated, especially when we talk about politics and Q&As, is, let's get together. We can discuss about the things that we don't like, but ultimately, how are we going to fix them? How can we contribute to fixing those issues, right? So,
well, discovering or realizing the things that are wrong, that's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Being someone who points out everybody's deficiencies, or it's so easy to do that. What is the solution?
Absolutely.
Let's quit quacking about it and come up with ideas on how to make things better. If you don't like the way that something's run, then raise your hand and volunteer your time, or just become involved. Don't sit on the sidelines and complain.
And if you're becoming involved in something and want to host an event for your organization or your group, well, guess what? You can do that at the Lido.
Exactly. We just had Heather Belatti
Yes.
with the Parents for French. They have a graduating class, and they thought, we'd sure like to do something, raise a little bit of money, and that the town has that lots, that we need funds to do things kind of.
Yeah, and they come together and
my
always fundraise. Always.
It was such a good, neat idea. The old cartoon called Blues Clues.
Yes.
Well, they called this one
Booze Clues. Yes. I heard it was a lot of fun. I didn't get to attend. But some of the energeticcity.ca team went out and they were amongst the first place.
There was only one first place.
Well, no, the group was mixed. So
That's
other people
correct.
kind of sat at their table, but they were in the third place.
Yeah,
in
you
the
had
first place.
three of the Moosers were there.
Yes.
And then we also paired them up with 3 folks from Montana.
Yes.
And Tyler's one of them. The guy's great. He goes, that team would have been nothing without me. And then
now they
Shaylee,
know.
no, he was just being a smart ass. But it was so much fun to just see. Like, there was 165 people in there, all in groups of 6.
Packed, eh?
Yeah, it was just, there was people everywhere. It's kind of like our crib tournaments,
Yeah.
What is entertainment now? And they raised a bunch of money. Heather did such a good job for a first-time event hoster. It made our job easier, but also
Heather is so organized. I just have to say
Yeah.
that she's so organized and so on the ball. So I'm not shocked at all.
Well, she has the vision to be able to see it at the end. Lots of people see the beginning and don't look at all the meat in the middle, and they just see the end result. And she looks at the end result and works it backwards, which is really it's the way to do it, because it's result driven. So they needed to make some money, and they certainly did that. And she just killed it. It was so good.
Well, congratulations to those French immersion students for their grad money that they fundraise. That's going to be a lot of fun for them.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? They all learned a little bit about. I had people on my tech deck messing with my shit too. But it was fun. They were doing the audio and the video, and they were all participating in it. At the end, they had brooms and they were sweeping, and it was just such a good event.
Give some people booze and they'll do anything.
Well, no, they were underage.
And
No, that was all. They weren't serving anything, but they were doing some of the fundraising things. They were watching the silent auctions, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, they did a great job there.
Well, good for them. I'm happy to hear that.
We just had the Laugh Your Ice Off Comedy Fest.
Yes.
Do you realize the difference between then, when that was, and you could look out your windows and you could see all the brown grass, and there was no snow.
I know. And then this past weekend, there was snow everywhere.
Yeah. And that, of course, was when they had Crystal Cup. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, everything's so pristine out there. The ice was looking great, and everything was all, and then winter came. Yes. And so it made it a real struggle. But, hats off to that organization, too. That's a big, big operation. And, you do what you got to do to get done what you needs to get done. And Neil Evans and his crew, great job. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. We just had George Canyon in again, another sold out show. We're all over the place on what we do, and I love it. It's great.
It's versatile, and I think that's what makes the Lido the Lido. Now you have lots of other events coming up, like outside of what kind of you hosted. You have cribbage, and you have a couple other shows coming up, completely different.
One I should probably touch on, I think that it is important, is we had been contacted to do an information session on Soji.
Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be tonight.
That's right. Yep.
Yes.
And it's been postponed. Unfortunately, the organizer of the event, he wasn't able to get some of the individuals together to come and speak in order to speak with knowledge on the subject. Mm-hmm. Passion's one thing, but actually having facts and knowledge is another. And I really feel that the subject is very touchy for a lot of people. Yeah. But it's interesting the anger, and all of a sudden we're taking some of the backlash for how could you host an event like that?
Listen,
it's important.
Yeah, and the Lido is an event venue. You
That's
host
right.
events. You help people make their events come to life. And it has nothing to do with you personally or your preferences or nothing, because you, in a professional basis, you host events. And if someone approaches you for, Soji, for example, you're going to host that. And I mean, the event coordinator, like you said, canceled it for tonight, so it's not happening. Refunds are available. I think I saw the post.
Yes,
and
that's
it's
right.
kind of in hopes that it's being rescheduled. Is that right?
Well, I think it is. I mean, there's a lot of information surrounding it. I mean, you can go onto the website Soji123 and find out exactly what it is. I think what he's trying to do is have some dialogue and discussion, not unlike we've talked about, where there are solutions to everything if we just sit down and talk about it. Whether you're on either side of the fence. The whole point is to get together and discuss it. And I do feel that
respectfully.
Absolutely.
Respectfully.
We did that. I remember the city of Fort St. John wanted to look at perhaps removing chlorine from our water and what levels and that kind of thing. And we had it was a great meeting. The place was packed. We had dentists and doctors and city workers and water specialists and they all got together and they talked about it. And the input from the community is also what allows them to help guide their decisions. And so I really feel that, there was that Bill Vanderzam way back. Remember when the HST was coming in? And it's like, oh my God. And I was against the HST coming in. Two things. One, the government in power at the time had said that if they get elected, they're not going to do that. And then they got elected and they went to go do that. And it's like, well, wait a second. You said you weren't. And that was the first time in history that they had to backpedal their decision because there was enough signatures to change that vote. Well, the very first place that they had an anti-HST rally, I'll call it, was in Fort St. John, Bill Vanderzam, and it was at the Lido. And it was just, I found out so much more information about the HST and what it actually was. And you know what, I got to say, I was probably for it. As a business owner, I think it would have been just so much easier rather than having PST and GST and PST liquor and hotel tax,
Well, I mean, the Lido, whether it's entertainment or education, like we said, it's such a versatile venue, right? And that's what you're doing. You're hosting people who wanted to have a discussion, and I think that's perfectly fine, and it's healthy, right? How do we learn things as people? We connect with people, we ask questions, and that's what this event was meant to do.
Well, and the problem with when you have when we went through the COVID times, when people weren't allowed to get together. So people, in order to chat and that, there's a lot of people turn to the cell phones, they turn to the computers, that kind of thing. And a lot of times you can hide behind a screen or a keyboard and really getting together and sitting eye to eye. Like, I would much rather have a conversation. I remember we were supposed to do on air, or no, what was that called? Virtual, where I'm talking from my computer at my office and your office, and those are horrible interactions. I've never been a fan of that. I like sitting across from you and actually seeing the body language and laughing and joking and talking about whatever it is we need to talk about.
Well, that's connection. That's connectivity, right?
Exactly.
On some level.
Human energy, right?
Absolutely.
We've got stuff coming up.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Sorry, just to finish off on the Soji thing.
Oh, yes.
I do feel that it is important, and I know that Mr. Blaney is going to go back to the drawing board and actually talk with hopefully the school board, City of Fort St. John, some of the other players in this, and put together a information session. Whether they decide to do it at the Lido or somewhere else, it's really it's up to them. It's their event, but I would encourage people to have open and honest dialogue.
Yeah, and respectful dialogue.
And respectful, absolutely.
Yeah.
Be nice. My brother always said that.
Be kind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It sounds like we should pass each other flowers or something.
I know. Be kind, Brian.
What do we got? Oh, the very first. Because how many months have 28 days?
Only one. Well,
no, they all do.
Well, yeah, I guess
womp, womp. I can't believe that.
A total of 28 days.
How
only
many
one.
People?
Usually.
I didn't say a total, see?
Yeah,
they say men don't listen, but I don't think you heard me. Yes, we have February 29th will be the leap year crib tournament.
Which you will also be participating in.
I know. Somebody put a little post. One of my gals, she does some social media stuff for us. And even Brian will be playing. Yes, I'll be playing, but not even Brian. It's not like, I love the game. I do fairly well at it, I guess. But hosting it all the time at Lido, I never get to play.
Yeah.
I just sit like
So
a
this
little.
is your time to have some fun too.
Bring it. Anybody thinks they got game? I love the challenge.
Brad is that's who
Brad hasn't entered yet.
you always mention.
Darlene Hamry called me. She's actually in Arizona, so she won't be here.
Okay.
But there's many on the list that we're getting calls every day, so it's going to be fun. I love poking fun at some of my my friends that play and it's a night designed just again camaraderie. Get together. You're guaranteed 8 games. If we sell it out, it'll be about $5,000 in prizes.
Wow.
So it's $100 a head to play.
Yeah.
But we just, what the heck?
And when's that happening?
The 29th, leap year?
Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, yes.
The leap year tournament.
Yep. Brian.
How many months have 28 days? Katerina.
All of them.
That's right.
What else is happening at the Lido?
Yeah. And again, a big thanks to Tom's Construction, CZ Law, and Mighty Peace Brewing. Those guys always support the crib tournaments just because they like it. Not because they want me to say their name on air, which I just did. So they like that too. Yeah. Canvas and Cocktails. We have never done a painting party, and we thought that was a great name for it. Canvas and Cocktails. It's you're painting with watercolor.
Yes.
So nobody else does that right now. There's lots of little parties and that around that you can go to these. Really excited about it. Just to see, like, everybody's gonna get a couple of canvases of practice and then one to do your final, but you're going to be able to see the paint strokes used up on the big screen.
Oh, so it's easy to follow along.
So we're going to have a camera on the artist as she's showing everybody how to do the strokes, and you're going to be able to see it on the big screen. And of course you'll have your cocktail in your left hand and your paintbrush in your right hand, and it's going to be just a ton of fun.
Sounds like a great time.
Canvas and Cocktails. They should actually do it. They should do the perfect copy first, and then the messy one after they've drank. Right?
Well, I feel like once you're a couple cocktails in, there's the neat and tidiness kind of starts to go down when you're trying to use.
But so does the care.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's true. Just have fun, right?
Exactly, and that's what it's about. It's just sharing the evening, right? Speaking of that, we have 100 Women Who Care.
Yes.
Great thing. It's Tuesday, March 12th. It's just crazy how many ladies show up for that. You can register online. It is a packed evening. I know Macro buys the popcorn, and Fort Motors buys every gal a beverage there. And they just listen to the plights of a few organizations, and they give away a whole bunch of money right that night.
Yeah,
so.
And they always surpass their goal.
Oh, it's just...
It's
and it's not
phenomenal.
only just the people who can attend, but when you can't attend, you can still support.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to be in Calgary. Well, okay. And so they send in their $200 for, a lady and her daughter kind of thing. AC/DC tribute, the #1 in Canada. It's Who Made Who, and they are so good, and it is so loud, and it is so fun. I haven't had them back since 2019, I believe.
Wow.
So they're all pumped and coming back to Lido and seeing all the new lights and stuff. Another crib tournament coming up for the Irish Open.
Okay.
Which will be year number 2. And then we've got Land and Cecil comedy show. There's so much going on. What I would encourage people to do is just keep checking the website, thelido.ca, because we keep posting stuff. There's a whole bunch of things that we haven't even talked about because they're not quite finalized. So there's a whole bunch of things that if you want to do something at the Lido, we just had a 16-year-old Sweet 16 karaoke party for a gal and her 7 friends at the Lido.
That's cool.
It was so, they got in, they were just pumped. So we made it just like they were rock stars. We had all the lights going, and it's very rewarding. It warms my heart that it gets utilized so much and that the city of Fort St. John supports it. I can't say enough. You guys have a movie coming up too, spring break.
It's a secret still. But yeah, it is. It's happening.
It's so funny that you have to tell me it's a secret. Okay.
If you want to find more information about all of these events, or if you want to plan an event, thelido.ca, but why don't you drop the number to the Lido as well?
250-785-3011. And give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you, and we hope to see you